Who's gonna do the, like, social interaction part? I feel like Morgan points toward, Isolde. I feel like Mrs. Finnegan, you would be good at that. You look like somebody who knows about social interactions. Mm-hmm. Oh, that sounds awkward when I say it like that.
Oh, hardly anybody's ever said that to me before, but thank you. I suppose I could. I don't know if who I dealt with is who lives here, but you meet new people every day. And would you all like to follow along, though? I feel like
we can stay by the picket fence. We will. It's okay.
Just awkwardly looking at you. So sorry. I mean, I can tag along if it's more appropriate.
Of course.
At that point, Delilah's going to tag along too.
Okay. And then Cece is
going to be very anxious and then follow them.
Okay. Isolde goes up, kind of turns around to this group of three that seem very out of place and just gives them a thumbs up.
I give a thumb up back.
Okay. Turns back around and knocks on the door.
This is Once Upon a Monster of the Week. Reddington, a delightful place to spend your days. Welcome back to Reddington, fair listener. I am Wendy, your ever-present narrator. In this week's episode, I have our third group of citizens about to receive their white envelopes for community service. Hopefully this group has an easier time with their service and doesn't have to deal with unicorns or jester dolls.
Morgan goes to check if they have locked the door. Because how did the envelope get there?
After Morgan has this moment of anxiety, they then remember that this is just how the town council communicates sometimes.
Cece would be very concerned, and very who found me, how did they find me, and rip it open immediately to, like, rip the Band-Aid off, because they're pretty sure they know who it is. They are wrong, probably.
Just as Isolde's coming in to the kitchen to make tea for the morning, the little of legs kind of darts behind the couch, and she, would Isolde have seen something like this before, or be kind of aware of what it would be? I would assume probably.
Isolde shakes her head for a minute, and then she remembers. This is just how the town council communicates sometimes.
Okay, so just kind of looking at the envelope, and then looking to behind the couch, Isolde says, "Darling, you know you don't have to run from the letters, this is just what they do." And then, mostly just to Isolde, a voice comes through.
"I know. I just don't want to have to deal with all of their silly little theatrics today.
Darling, I'm just going to open it, and everything's going to be fine."
And then you're going to be gone again, and you're going to be off after some haunted sort or another, and you're not going to come home in time, and I'm going to have to figure out how to make the tea all by myself.
I'm going to open the letter now, dear. And then up the stairs, and she opens the letter.
And Delilah's probably just schlepping through her morning coffee. The mug maybe clean. Yeah, there's a letter. She kind of just rips it open, figuring it's from, like, a publisher. The person that is supposed to be her agent. Of course, it might also just be another passive-aggressive note from her mother.
As everybody opens their white envelope, they find a note inside that says, "Please meet at the Town Historical Preservation Society at 10 a.m. Signed, the Town Council."
What time is it now?
It is currently 9 a.m. in Reddington.
Cece is extremely relieved. In fact, did she know that that it's not her mom? That's good. And she looks at the clock, and she also is not sure where this building is, so she immediately grabs her backpack and sets out to find it and not to have to ask anyone.
It is worth noting that while everywhere in Reddington is fairly walkable, Cece is leaving the university, which is more to the outside of town, on the opposite side from where a unicorn farm might be.
Nice.
While the Historical Preservation Society is not necessarily in downtown, it is near the town halls and other community service buildings.
Are there any unicorns still around?
Unfortunately for Cece, there are no unicorns in town right now. They are currently mourning the loss of their unicorn herder.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, regardless, Cece is stomping around town to find it, and the chances are that she gets there with about half an hour to spare, and then sits on a bench in front of the building, waiting for time.
Isolde probably pulls up to the building with about 15 minutes to spare. She comes in on a bicycle, kind of an old-style bicycle with a wicker basket in the front. It's not quite Miss Galt, of course, because that's not exactly her reputation, but it might conjure something like that. And she pulls it up to the bike rack in front of the building, locks it up, kind of turns around. And at this point, Cece would have spent her night at some point recently?
No.
Okay.
No, Cece just came straight from the university and is sitting there and really, just thinking really happy thoughts about a woman with a wicker basket. And
Recently, Isolde has posted a room for rent. Cece has sent in an application, but I don't think they've actually met yet.
I have filled out, yes,
Okay.
an application.
Okay. Would we have talked on the phone, or would this just be something that maybe got dropped off on my doorstep by a rat?
It would have been dropped off on your doorstep by a puppy. Thank you.
Okay.
It would be like a little spaniel, Labrador, kind of muddy, very fluffy, mix with like a nice tail that, and the floppy ears.
Oh, who's going to adopt it?
The dog does bite.
That's just character.
If somehow the bell got rung, when the application were dropped off, and if the door were opened immediately, Cece might have, from very discreet and not at all strangely 2 feet tall in the bushes, have maybe seen who came to the door.
I love that. Okay. So, Isolde just kind of turns around and sees the look on Cece's face.
And might notice that her butt is even quivering. Yeah.
I'm sorry, have we met?
No, hi. I just stride right up to you and I put my hand out in a gesture that is serious and look you in the eye and say, I am Cece Stratos. Cece, hi.
Hello, Cece.
You've got a pretty bicycle.
Oh, thank you. I've had it for the longest time. I actually just got it repainted a little bit. Thank you.
Of course.
Cece.
Yeah, you have a room and I want it?
Oh, yes. The mystery application. So thrilled to find it.
No, what? It was in a very obvious place, I thought.
Oh, the place was quite obvious, dear, but sometimes you're known to hand someone something like that.
Oh, well, the mailman delivered it, and I told the mailman specifically to put it on, and the mailman was very nice because I don't have stamps. But anyway, so the thing is, I can't believe you're here. I don't know why you're here, but I would like to make a very good impression, and I really need a place to stay, and I could eventually pay you.
Then don't worry about it if you really need a place to stay.
Really?
Yes, you put the
hug
ad in the paper
myself because. Sorry, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, when you have a room to spare, you put an ad in the paper, and people who need it will find it.
Thank you. So I could come.
Yes, consider it yours. Or
okay. I'll be very when?
Forgive me if this is a bit too presumptuous. You're just
no,
worrying
I'm sorry.
me a tad.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Thank you.
It's all right. You're worrying me a tad, and I want to say that you ought to come tonight because...
It would be very helpful if I could come tonight, please.
Then, yes, whatever this town council business is, I don't see why they want to talk to me.
Oh, wait,
but
hold
after
on,
that, then...
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you ask me to come here then to meet you? Because, the town council wants to see... I don't understand it at all.
No, this happy accident.
I got this note. I hand you it.
Isolde takes out this similar one from the basket.
Oh, weird.
Yes.
Do they usually? What? How did?
Oh, they usually do this. It's quite haunting, actually.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised they knew I was here, actually.
Yes. Well...
I mean, how would they know?
Everybody knows. Different things. Some things that they shouldn't.
Delilah is probably taking her time getting ready because it's a 20-minute walk from anywhere. So she's probably leaving her apartment at 9:40. She has moved her coffee into a travel mug. I have a little Vespa, like a tiny little moped. So there's always going to be someone annoyed at the girl driving the moped, especially when it's Delilah, and driving is not a strong suit. You guys probably hear the little beep beep of the horn. She's not wearing a helmet or anything.
Isolde will lecture at some point, don't worry about it.
I mean, to be fair, she's probably driving mostly on the sidewalks.
Yeah. Watch out.
Is that better?
Well,
mowing down pedestrians.
At least when
that kind of
moped tires roll over someone, you're probably not going to die.
Probably fine. Just emotionally scarred.
Oh my gosh.
Morgan would have gotten there 10 minutes before. So in between Delilah and the others, actually. Mm-hmm. Just to be sure to be on time, they walked like a normal person. Sorry. No judgment here. No judgment here. No, they grabbed their backpack, grabbed the coffee on the go, stopped for a coffee, so they left quite early at 9:20 and got there 10 minutes early.
So you arrive about 5 minutes or 10 minutes before, 5 minutes into Isolde's and Cece's conversation. And
yeah, but they would have seen you talking and just kind of not interrupt y'all. They just stayed far with their coffee. I'm here. Just
Cece would catch a glimpse of Morgan out of their eye and just
the awkward foot shuffle.
Yeah, awkward shuffle. They're having an important conversation. Yeah. Oh, so good.
Just maneuver themselves to put Isolde between them without saying anything. Just
Isolde does. Yeah, Isolde gives a very obvious look.
Morgan doesn't notice at all.
Over her shoulder.
Doesn't notice the avoidance moments.
Morgan, and then back to Cece.
Yeah, just two people talking. I'm just chilling there, waiting for 10 hours. Yeah, everything's good.
Oh, I take it there's a rather exciting story there.
You don't say that out loud, right?
Oh, I do.
Oh, what? No, I don't know who that is at all.
All right. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Oh!
Tonight, okay.
As Cece, Isolde, and Morgan chat, Delilah finally shows up on her Vespa.
She probably thinks she's a lot cooler than she is.
She's as cool as she is.
No, but she thinks she's getting off of it you see those people getting off of motorcycles in the movies. Except she's really just
there's a wind machine.
She's really just kicking out the little footstand and everything, and
but
yeah, she has a lot of hair in the first place, so it's probably looks a little bit more, we'll say, windswept, but it's definitely messy.
Isolde just kind of holds it up over her shoulder.
Yeah,
Morgan's holding the letter in their hands and trying to see if the other one also have a letter. like, I got, like,
Same letter.
Cece gets very still.
oh, cool. Yeah, so they take that as a
I'll receive the
message
summons
to
then.
walk toward you two. like, oh, same letter. Same letter. Oh, wait.
It appears we all have. Morning.
So it's nice to meet all of you.
Good morning. Good morning. Nice to. I've seen you somewhere. Oh, you are you in my one of my classes? I think. Yeah, probably.
Yes. Yeah. I audit sometimes. And I turn to Delilah and I say, I've seen you. I didn't know that you rode a Vespa.
Yeah,
That's so
that's
cool.
it.
I've been wanting to say hi. My name is Cece Stratos. I'm new here. What's your name?
It just takes a step back. It is too early in the morning to deal with this.
It's Dan.
I have no idea who you are.
No, I know.
I'm Delilah. And she doesn't even, like, hold a hand out or anything, though.
It's okay. Cece's looking at the ground.
Well, then, now that we all know each other, my goodness gracious, we might as well head inside. That's my plan, anyways.
We ought, yeah.
That sounds like a good idea.
Of course.
yeah.
Delilah, will the charming little moped be safe for its part?
I mean, I imagine so. It's not like someone's gonna walk up and carry it away without the keys.
All right. Bicycle secured, everybody here. 10 a.m. And I'm just going to into the building.
I'm gonna.
Yes. I guess we're like following, like just three
Very much ducklings. Yes.
young person following behind you.
This literally could
Very
not have
much.
worked out the way.
Isolde and her ducklings.
Isolde and her wife have now adopted 3 children.
Yeah, my stepmom is a doll. It's hard to.
Yeah, she's a complete doll.
Ah.
No, she's still.
She's the
still
strong,
really
silent type.
scary.
The adventurers enter into the rundown building, only to find me standing in the entrance hall. While I know Morgan and Delilah have made a home in this building in the past, this is their first time seeing me. I had dressed especially nice for the occasion. Welcome! I am Wendy. You're all here for the 10 a.m. meeting?
That would be us, yeah.
Hi.
Yeah,
I only received a letter.
probably. I assume.
Excellent. I'm glad you're all here. We will be meeting in the room down that hallway over there.
Isolde follows down the hall.
I'm a good little duckling.
Is this a new hall? Have I seen this hall before?
It is, in fact, a familiar hallway to both Morgan and Delilah.
Okay. This building is weird. Stuff happens.
Yeah, it's familiar territory. It's familiar territory.
Yeah, I'll let our illustrious leader go first.
How did this happen?
You chose to be a parent.
I chose to be a parent. It's true. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dangers of being nice.
The group enters the meeting room, finding it mostly empty except for a round table and some chairs. Another door is closed on the opposite wall. Speaking of, I do love this room. The walls are wonderful wooden, giving the building such a cozy atmosphere. As the group gets settled, I open the door to bring in a beverage cart. I set a tray with tea and coffee in front of them, and then smiling, I stand up straight. What questions do you have for me?
Who are you?
I'm sorry?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch your name. You're
Wendy, of course.
Windy. Okay, Windy. And you're the person who sent us. No, that was town council. You're part of the town council?
Oh no, I am just a spokesperson for the town council. I am here to make sure you get settled in for your community service.
Wait, community service?
Oh, that's what that
that
is.
the cost of
Okay.
living here?
Of course, every citizen of Reddington does some community service at some time,
Because we're in jail?
just to give back to the town that they live in.
Does this sound familiar to us?
Yes, it would sound familiar to any citizen of Reddington who had been here for a while. It was likely that at some point, everybody else had served community service in the past, except for Cece, who is very new to town, actually.
Redonkulously new.
However, this time is fairly different. It is a lot more prestigious of a position.
And it involves us and the council. How? Usually the last time I just helped out at the animal shelter.
Why, you'll be running the Historical Preservation Society, of course.
Cece raises her hand and asks, could we work for the animal shelter instead?
Unfortunately, no. You are scheduled to work with the Historical Preservation Society.
What? What does the work entail?
You will be responsible for preserving the town's history and occasionally throwing charity events for things the town may need.
And how long are we expected to do this?
Until the town council decides you have served your time.
Does it come with money?
Yes, of course.
'Cause
This is a paid position.
Oh, good. How long does it last? I mean, like, can it last longer? Can it just keep lasting?
Until the town council has decided you have done enough.
And then you can move to the animal shelter.
I blink at Cece, then look around the room. Are there any other questions pertaining to the Historical Preservation Society?
Azolda looks up from where she was helping herself to tea right away. Yes, just a quick question. Was my selection about the dead folks? I just want to know what's going to be expected of me, if that was sort of the subtext here.
I don't quite understand your question, Isolde.
Oh, well, I suppose that answers it then. She just goes back to her tea.
Cece's a little nervous about moving in with her.
Uh-huh.
But she's tried to talk herself into believing and maybe asking later if possibly Isolde is the town undertaker.
I smile, looking around the room. Is there anything else I can help with?
Oh, the job starts today, I'm assuming?
Why, yes. The job started at 10 a.m.
Oh, what's the schedule? Like, are we expected to be here very often? I mean, I have some stuff to run down. It's super convenient that it's the same building, though. But, like, is there I mean, what are we expected? I know what we're expected to do, but when are we expected to do?
There aren't a ton of expectations here. You're expected to live your life as normal, and occasionally the town council will ask you to help out as the Historical Preservation Society.
So how do we know when we're supposed to preserve something?
Yeah.
Like, do we wait for something to happen and then we, like,
Preserve
write it down? Yeah, we preserve it. Could you be more specific?
Who are we to say when something needs to be preserved, you know?
Or what counts as historical.
I mean, there were those unicorns last week. I feel like we should preserve that.
Yeah, that is important. Definitely already noted that. The time, place, number of unicorns. Yeah, sorry.
Wait, can I see your notes on that?
Sure, absolutely. Okay, like Morgan starts like scrambling in their bag. Like they have like a small notebook that they get out and just like, okay, so there was like.
Oh, Cece finally sits down right next to Morgan and is devouring it.
And they're not very much paying attention to the, what's her name, Wendy anymore. Yeah.
No, we have our task. Yeah.
Yeah, they have like the measurements of the unicorn and like some I took some
Did you see
hair sample to like
a hair sample? Could I have that?
Well, it's kind of I'll see if I have
it in
enough.
Half? Just cut it in half. I don't want to take one when
Well, I mean we can. I mean I can probably get more. I guess.
How would you pull them out?
Well, yes, we will need an official town recorder at some point. However, we do have a more pressing need. Our Titanic exhibit opens next week, and we really need your help to get it ready. As you all know, that fateful night did lead to the creation of Reddington. The exhibit lines up perfectly with our fall festival and annual town celebration.
And she's been presented with ADHD ducks.
Oops.
Mercy's very touchy about the whole Titanic thing, so this is going to be it. Isolde just wants to go let her know that this is happening.
Cece kind of just side-eyes Isolde, thinking ghosts, dead people, Titanic, what the what? Yeah, Cece wants to see if basically she could pick up on whatever is passing unbidden through Isolde's mind about it all.
Cece's tune-in attempts to read Isolde's mind fail, leaving Isolde aware they tried to read her mind.
Yeah, there's a moment where she sort of just looks up from her tea and her head kind of cocks to the side, and for a second you cannot read her at all. And then the biggest, warmest smile just breaks onto her face. And she kind of just sits back with her tea, kind of looking over everybody else here.
And Cece definitely kept eye contact through that whole thing. And is looking less like... It's not the terrifiedness of Morgan, and it's not the overexcitedness of meeting everyone else. But it's a little bit of, I'm going to keep my eye here for a while. Cece might get up and go get a drink. They, it's both, whatever Delilah got.
Morgan is absolutely clueless at whatever just happened.
Yes. Delilah has just, like, refilled her coffee. Probably asked Wendy if, like, so, do we get any snacks with this, or...
Why, of course. But before I get those, are there any other questions that you need answered? As there were no more questions, I responded, okay, the Titanic exhibit files are on the side table over there. Good luck. And I left the room.
When does it need to be ready for?
I chose not to answer Morgan, as I had already left all the info they needed, but did make sure to pop in a variety of snacks, breakfast, and pastry items on their drink cart as requested.
Ooh.
Cece finds a chair to sit on a little further away from the cart and just puts her very black coffee that is exactly like Delilah's back on the table.
Oh no, Delilah does not drink black coffee. She is probably
no?
It's probably like half a cup of coffee. Then like a half, the rest of that is just sugar and milk.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, well then that's what Cece puts back on the table.
She drinks dessert.
Amazing.
Morgan's not done with their own coffee, so they're just like with their mug.
I think the ducklings are waiting.
All right.
So are we just all gonna sit here? Or, I mean, I don't think they're gonna let us leave without doing some work.
Oh no, we ought to do some work, I suppose, but I don't know how one goes about creating an exhibit. I've never done such a thing before.
They said the notes were... where again?
Side table.
Okay, Morgan grabs the notes and starts, pushes it a little bit, like, in front of the big table and, like, opens it so that everyone can see. And, opens the file. We got that.
The file Morgan has opened contains some of the information needed for the exhibit. It is to open next week with an opening ceremony cocktail party with hors d'oeuvres and an open bar. The exhibit will include general Titanic artifacts from other exhibits, while adding a personal touch of Reddington's history with items from town families. Info on the exhibit room is also included.
Has anybody here organized an event like this before?
No.
Very much no.
Look at that. We're all going to learn together. Oh, how exciting. Well, I suppose there must be some things we can... It looks like there's things we need to go and get. That might be the easiest way, but if leaving as soon as we've arrived, I don't know if that's considered rude.
Well, we only have a week, so we should start, right?
Quite the list of artifacts we have here.
As the group reviewed the files in front of them,
Yeah, how much prep work has been done on this?
Right, like how much do we need to come up with?
they found a list of items that had been donated from other Titanic exhibits. Even one of the founding families that had recently moved away still remembered to mail a box in for the exhibit. The list of items needing collected around town was relatively small.
Yeah, Cece would be very interested in whatever's around town and, going to pick those up.
The rest is in the building, so it's gonna be difficult to look for those in the building. I mean, I know there's a lot of rooms here, but does Morgan recognizes the numbers of the room that are written? Like, are the items that are already in the building gonna be a challenge in any way? Do they look like they're gonna be a challenge, or do they just look like they're all in the same room and it's gonna be super easy?
Thankfully, I had already taken time to organize the current items Reddington had collected for the exhibit. The HPS members should not need to worry about these rooms.
Okay.
So those are gonna be easy, I guess.
Maybe.
Yeah, those will be easy. Perhaps it's best to get things that we have into place later in the week, so we're not moving around them all the time. I don't know.
Well, we could put them all in the same place too, so we know where they are from now on.
So I guess that means we go play fetch.
Kinda.
Looking like it. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to take a quick stop at home. I just have something I think it'll be useful.
That's fine. You could meet up with us wherever we go next.
Yes, where are you thinking of heading first?
What's closest to here?
Yeah, start with that.
Or maybe we should start farthest away? That way everything else is closer.
What's the first thing on the list? Why don't we just go right down it?
There are 5 founding families of Reddington. The Bowmans, who have previously left town, the Mitchens, the McFaddens, the Gunters, and the Luxtons. Each remaining family has at least one box for the Historical Preservation Society to collect for the exhibit.
Whose house is closest? And whose house is furthest?
Okay, the Mitchells are closest.
Really? No, I thought the Luxtons... Oh, you know what? The Luxtons must be farthest away because they would have the biggest amount of acreage.
Yeah, they
right?
have an estate.
Yeah.
Oh,
so the Mitchinsons are closest?
Sounds right, too.
Luxton furthest away.
We're establishing town canon here.
Thus quas Zarthustra. Okay.
Morgan wonders aloud, like, I guess those people, know that we're coming, right? Probably, I hope.
I mean, otherwise it's robbery.
It's not robbery if you go and ask for it.
It's not robbery. Yeah, exactly. I was thinking more of asking, but I guess...
I mean, if we're
yeah.
asking for stuff that they aren't prepared to give us...
We can
And we're
just
not
say
gonna
that
rob
the
them.
council wants it, and apparently whatever the council wants, everyone else has to do.
Yeah, that might work, actually. If they didn't know.
Oh, I'm
But I
sure
hope
they're
they
all
know.
lovely. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure they do know that we're on our way.
Have you met any of them before? Mrs. I forget your last name?
Oh, Finnegan.
Finnegan.
The Gunters came to me a while ago, something to do with an ancestor they thought they had lost to foul play. Very messy business. Turns out, the person wasn't dead. So, that was interesting. But, the rest, no, I tend to keep to myself.
Do any of these family names, sound familiar outside of the fact that they are founding families?
Outside of the Luxtons, more on their estate later, none of the other founding families have a vibe of demanding respect or anything like that. In fact, most of them are fairly normal and try not to stand out at all. They're just any other family in Reddington. Who cares who their ancestors are?
Well, why don't we go to the Gunters then if you already know them and you helped them out and didn't kill anyone?
Oh, I assure you I didn't. That's very funny.
Cece sighs a little bit.
Let's go see the Gunters then, and then I can actually get home from there. Alright, Gunters it is.
Sure.
Lead the way.
Okay, yeah, Isolde starts out, probably leaving the bicycle locked up where it is for now, and just sort of not particularly making a lot of conversation besides what a nice morning it is.
Are we just all walking in silence, or?
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably not true. I picture, Delilah putting along in the Vespa, the walking pace.
That's so good.
Cece, feeling stupid, would hang back and, try to say cool things to Delilah. That's a Vespa.
Yes, it definitely is, and it seems that no one else here has a vehicle, so I imagine I'll be leaving it here.
It's a small town. Don't need a vehicle.
I have a bicycle. What else do you need?
I really hope that's not going to be something we regret.
I've seen a cab around here, so like there's more than one vehicle, right?
In the town?
Yeah.
Oh, there's more than one. Yes.
There's at least two. There is a Vespa.
There's a Vespa, there's a cab, there's a multitude of others.
There is this thing that they call a bus, which is not really a bus, more like a navette. How do you call it?
The college shuttle.
Trolley?
They call it shovel. It's too small to have like a real bus. I don't know, like for big
Right,
bus
right.
park or something. It's like a shuffle.
Yeah, they shuttle from like the town center
Yeah.
to like the student dorms.
As the group approach the Gunter's house, they find a fairly average 2-story home. It is clear they have some little ones running around based on the toys in the yard. And the car in the garage confirms someone is home.
So who's gonna do the like social interaction part? I feel like Morgan points toward like Isolde. I feel like Mrs. Finnegan, you would be good at that. You look like somebody who knows about social interactions. Oh, that sounds awkward when I say it like that.
Oh, hardly anybody's ever said that to me before, but thank you. I suppose I could. I don't know if who I dealt with is who lives here, but you meet new people every day. And would you all like to follow along, though? I feel like
We can stay by the picket fence. We will. It's okay.
just awkwardly looking at you. I mean, I can jog along if it's more appropriate.
of course.
At that point,
Morgan.
Delilah's going to tag along too.
Okay. And then Cece's
Cece is going to be very anxious and then follow them.
okay. Isolde goes up, kind of turns around to this group of three that seem very out of place and just gives them a thumbs up.
I give a thumb up back.
Okay. Turns back around and knocks on the door.
After a moment, a woman in her mid-40s answered the door. Isolde recognizes her as the sister of the man she had previously dealt with. Gretchen smiles and asks, "Can I help you?"
Gretchen Gunter. Wow.
And Isolde kind of goes, "Oh, it's Gretchen, isn't it?"
"Yes."
Isolde,
"Oh, Mrs. Finnegan."
yes. I'm actually here on behalf of the Historical Preservation Society. Something about a Titanic artifact.
"Oh, yes. My great-great-grandparents came over on the Titanic." She rolls her eyes. "They actually met on the Titanic or something. Anyways, through that room is a box I set aside specifically for the exhibit."
Oh, thank you so much. And how rude of me, my colleagues, and kind of steps back to let them have their moment.
Cece waves.
Hi, thank you so much. I can go grab the box, or would you rather bring it to us?
Are there a lot of boxes?
"Oh, just one box. You're welcome to grab it."
Okay, thank you. And they just awkwardly stated, I am Morgan, by the way. Hi.
Cece manages not to yell out, "We're not robbing you." She's very proud of herself. She didn't say it.
Gretchen lowers her voice before responding.
Oh my god.
"It is so nice of you to help socialize the local university students. Daylight really does seem to do them some good."
Okay, so Morgan goes and grabs the box.
Gretchen waves awkwardly to the other two, then snaps her fingers. "Oh, you were the one my brother called to trying to find my cousin James a few months ago, right?"
Yes, that was resolved quite dramatically.
"Have you heard what's going on with the Bowman family?"
The Bowmans, they left quite a while ago. No.
"I briefly remember a news story or a phone conversation. I'm coming up blank. Kids, you know.
How fun.
Would you be a dear and check up on them? Just to make sure they're okay?" "Oh, Now you have the box. Good luck with the exhibit. With that, Gretchen shuts the door.
Huh. Well, I think that went extremely well.
We managed to get what we needed, so...
Can I peek
Cece's
in
interested in what's in the box.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I peek into the box? Like while
What's in
carrying
the
it, like...
box?
Within the box, they find some gentlemen's clothes, a journal, some knickknacks, and some daytime jewelry for a woman.
Can I, pick up
Journal?
Everybody wants to pick up the journal. But I have this stupid bug, so I cannot.
We're all college students.
Yeah.
As they open up the journals for a quick read, they primarily find a running log of business conducted throughout the days. Some of the other founding family names do pop up throughout the journal, but outside of that, no information could really be gleaned.
McFadden?
McFadden's, I am just a little bit away from my house. Could I meet you there?
Sure.
I mean, if it's not that far away, maybe we should stay all together because, secretly, I'd like to get a peek inside.
Okay.
I mean, we need somewhere to probably drop all this stuff off anyways, otherwise Morgan's
then
going to
we're
be
just
left
carrying
carrying
it.
everything.
I assume that y'all have arms too.
Oh, last I checked, 2.
Yeah, so that's good. I mean, that's 8 arms total. I have 1 box. We have 4 other houses. We're 4. We should be fine.
Do we really want to risk possibly dropping one of these things? Because...
But we have 5 other places to go. We should drop 1 box because we have to go. Oh, wait, no.
there's
The
4.
Bowmans already donated their stuff. Unless, we want to talk to them.
As the HPS members are having this conversation, they eventually find themselves in front of Isolde's house.
As Isolde's going up to her house, she kind of looks behind to see if they're watching and looks in the window just to see if Mercy is in the immediate vicinity because she can be a bit startling.
I mean,
and she gives the strange thing that would jump out is she knocks on her own front door and opens it. I mean, you're welcome to drop the stuff here if you'd like. And then I suppose Cece and I could carry it back.
Yeah.
In the next morning, and she can put some in the bicycle, I'm sure.
I could maybe leave my backpack here if you wanted to show me where I'll definitely be staying with you.
Yeah,
tonight.
yes.
Morgan looks very confused at oh, something is happening. I don't know. We'll take Isolde's.
As Morgan's looking
suggestion.
around, just the slightest hint of a frilly little dress just pops around and hides in the corner, almost as if you didn't even see it.
Morgan blinks several times. Looks. No, there's nothing.
Isolde curses under her breath.
Looks behind them.
Drops the box. Cece, I hate to disappoint. Maybe we could do that after the workday. And there's another little in the kitchen.
Cece says, no problem. I just need a drink of water. I'll be right back. And she just goes right into the kitchen.
And if I may,
She is at home.
as soon as she goes right into the kitchen, there is a china doll sitting motionless on the kitchen counter.
Are there other dolls around in the kitchen?
No, in the kitchen it's just this doll, kind of sitting by itself. It's looking right at Cece.
Ooh.
Could Cece do her magic thing again?
Cece takes the chance to read the mind of the doll in front of her. However, her nerves are quite rattled at the sight of Mercy, and she is only able to sense the quote-unquote doll brain, or the wooden vessel,
Oh,
mixed with some anger
okay.
and annoyed feelings.
Right. No, just sort of a, "Grr." If it's all right, Cece goes and becomes a mouse just to sniff around and see if there's anything weird.
I'm trying to figure out what I've seen.
It's an older house, so it's not very open, so there's every chance that we didn't see this happening.
Right. I was thinking the kitchen was sort of off.
Yeah,
but
that was my idea.
It depends on how open the door is.
Cece tries to morph into a rat.
Mouse, thank you.
I'm sorry, a mouse.
I don't want to be recognized by anyone.
In full sight of this doll sitting out. Fortunately for Cece,
Isolde would have trusted Cece that they were just going to get water and is probably just getting the box situated with Morgan.
Morgan and Isolde are off doing something with the Titanic box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But as she is mid-mousifying...
Because I have nothing else to do, I might have followed. Because I don't like being in a stranger's house alone.
Delilah walks in.
Is there something you need to say, maybe, or...
I don't know, I'm a mouse. I'm sniffing around the baseboard.
I mean, to be fair, you just transformed into a mouse. That mouse could speak. Delilah doesn't know that.
Squeak, squeak!
I mean, we can either talk about this now, or we can talk about it when everyone else is around. I don't know if this is something you want to keep close to the vest or not.
Delilah, who are you talking to?
Myself.
The doll is just watching. And I should add that when I say the doll is staring, one of its eyes is permanently rolled back into the skull, so only one is watching.
Oh.
Amazing.
Which is probably why Delilah focuses on the mouse.
Don't look at it.
Cece hearing Morgan ask and realizing that Delilah has just, like, covered for her. It was, like, in the baseboard corner and, like, turns back into herself, but, you know, curled up and whatnot. And just goes, I think, can you come and sit with me? Please?
All right.
Okay.
And yeah, she sits near you, probably like squatting, but not completely. Like she's seen a lot of stuff, so she doesn't know what way this interaction is going to go.
Okay. Thank you. Sure, it happens when I get startled. That's what happens. Oops. And, and I will, if you are nice, if things, I won't get startled anymore. But do you see the doll up there? Or something's wrong in this house. Something is wrong in this house. And I'm supposed to stay here tonight, and I'm pretty sure this woman murders people, and I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I want her to be my mom, but I can't stand it. I'm really nervous, and I'm going to turn into a mouse. We can both turn into mice.
I put my hands on her shoulder and just kind of shake her a little bit.
Oh no, she falls against your lap and starts sobbing.
Oh Lord. Just pat.
Her arms are wrapped around your leg.
I mean, to be fair, we don't know what's gonna happen, but if you're not feeling safe around the creepy doll, we might not need to be in here.
Cece sits up and dries her eyes bravely and takes Delilah's hand, whether she wants it or not, and says, "Thank you, that's a good idea. Will you help me to walk out of here, please?"
Do I don't know if I have a choice at this point. But we are gonna have to talk about the mouse thing later. Something's going on there.
Sure. You know, we could have coffee. Like the coffee that you like, we could do that. We could have coffee. And it'll be nice. Yeah, I could do that. Thank you.
She's not even going to agree. She's just going to let herself be led out of the room.
I think by that point, like, Isolde and Morgan are actually waiting outside. I don't know.
Yeah, I think... Did I hear it? It was probably loud enough for me to hear it.
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
Isolde just kind of...
So she's afraid of your doll.
Well, Isolde just kind of holds her hands together in the hallway. Looks to Cece, who is clearly upset. So is the problem with the doll, or are you afraid that I'm going to murder you?
Well, I mean,
I don't know if I you're going to believe me, but I don't murder people.
Then why do people ask you to find dead people? And why do they want you because of death?
Well, that's a very long story.
Well, I think we have time, because they are hiring us for at least a week.
I can tell the story in a week, but I have to talk to somebody first. Could I ask for some privacy, the house to myself?
Yeah. Let's get out, y'all.
Okay.
Come on, Algernon.
Oh, Cece looks at Delilah and is very upset.
Well, I wasn't going to go for the copyrighted names.
Amazing.
You can throw stuff around. It's fine.
Gus.
And Isolde just kind of wanders back into the kitchen. The doll is now standing where it had been sitting. Did you scare that poor, nice young person?
Oh, they made it very easy, dear.
You're going to be living with us for some time in the spare room.
Oh, after that interaction, you want to give them the spare room?
I'll have to talk to them first. You know how it is, but I came here to talk to you about something different.
Oh? Do you have to go looking for something haunted again?
No. It's about the... Can I ask you about the ship yet?
No. No, I can't. I can't talk about it. I can't talk about it. You know
I know.
don't...
I know. I don't know why I came to ask you, dear.
I can't talk about it, Zelda.
Okay. I'll be back after work. They're waiting for me.
I'll see you soon.
And Isolde nods and joins the others outside.
Morgan would have closed the door behind them, would have taken this decision of just closing the door, then would have looked at Cece and Delilah, looking very much confused because Cece, I guess, probably still looks upset.
Cece is pulling herself together and, yes, doing her breathing and grounding exercises.
Okay, but, Cece, Morgan just looks like there's a question on the tip of their tongue, but they're not asking, actually. They're just staring at both of you.
Has Cece let go of Delilah yet?
No. You are now part of her grounding exercises. She has to make 5 things that you can touch, 5 things that you can see.
She probably stands about as far as she can away. Just rubbing, the bridge of her nose.
So, Delilah, this next TA meeting is in 2 weeks, right? I think. Sorry, I'm just, there's so much tension. I had to, ask about anything.
I mean, I think it's on, the 17th, maybe? That's the, Friday, right?
Okay, and they're doing karaoke or something?
I know they're gonna have alcohol.
Officially not, but yeah. Okay.
Outside of that, I'm not really sure I care at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a social outing, I guess. Forces you to be social. Anyway, Cece, you're all right?
Yeah, sorry. Sorry. I should get a physician, because they probably would get me something for It's Silly.
Okay.
So it's okay. I'm sorry. I'm just weird.
At this point in the conversation, Isolde returns.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for your courtesy.
So sorry for the delay. Well, we now rejoin our regularly scheduled outing.
Perhaps we ought to resume with the treasure hunt, then.
Yeah.
Are you 3 okay?
I don't know about these too. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm just confused.
It's not the weirdest day I've had, but
Same.
Right.
it's interesting.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I think I was just thrown by this morning.
It's all right.
I can go back and deal with things unless you're okay with me. Keep going with you, and I'll be fine.
Stay with us.
Okay. Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And I switched to holding Morgan's hand.
Oh my god.
There's just
Morgan
like a
looks
sigh.
very startled. Like,
There is like
what is
visible
happening?
relief. There's visible relief when the hand is returned to Delilah.
I don't think that Morgan held like the end of somebody outside of like their last frequentation like 7 years ago or something like that. So they're just very startled by somebody. Oh, okay. They just look like right and left as if there was something else to do, but no, apparently we're just walking. So, yeah.
From here, Mitchinson's or McFadden's is closer.
McFadden's, I think.
Sure.
All right.
So we're heading to McFadden's house.
Does anyone know anything about the McFaddens?
Do any of us know anything about the McFaddens?
I'm not too familiar.
I think there's somebody, a kid with that name that works at the coffee shop, like with the tag.
Oh.
But that's pretty much all I know. So they have a kid that works at the coffee shop.
And Cece looks behind her at Delilah and is like, so do you know them? Because you drink coffee.
I mean, to be fair, I don't really get the last name of everyone that makes me coffee. Usually that involves some more steps in between.
He's the redheaded guy that sometimes.
I mean, maybe.
Kind of cute. Like has this Oh, he's kind of tall. That's all I know. Anyway, so yeah.
Cece squeezes Morgan's hand.
As the bold, brave group approaches the McFadden house, they find the front door standing open, with no one in sight.
That's weird.
Oh, that's strange, isn't it?
Maybe someone's in the backyard?
Is there any noise coming from the house?
Delilah decides to take a closer look through the front door. Unfortunately, she is met with bad news.
So, about that robbery thing. Looks like someone beat us to it.
Should we call like the police or something? Is there a police in town? I've never seen a police car in this town.
Is there law enforcement, or are we the law enforcement?
Is there somebody we can call, or do we just?
Yeah, Isolde just gets her pocket knife out just in case.
Can I pull my taser out?
Okay, if like the both of you do that, Morgan just looked like confused, like what? Why?
I mean, it's better than the sword.
Oh,
Sometimes you just get a feeling.
well, no, you're right. You're right.
We
I
can
should know
try
better.
law enforcement if you'd like. Perhaps that is the more responsible decision, but I'm a bit concerned as to it is broad daylight if anyone was home at the time of this ghastly little intrusion.
Okay, let's go see if somebody's hurt.
I think it can't hurt to just go in the front.
Yeah. So yeah, Morgan like goes in the front door, try to enters the house,
Yeah.
just like see if there's somebody's hurt or something like that.
Isolde's gonna follow.
I'm gonna bring up the tail.
I'm gonna be behind as well, and actually, if possible, behind Delilah, whispering to Delilah, is something along the lines of, "I don't have to just be a mouse."
I mean, good to know. Right now, we might need you to be Cece. We don't know what we're walking into.
As the HPS members step through the door, they find the place torn apart. Shelves have been dumped, couches pulled apart. As they look towards the kitchen, they can see a head peeking over a broken and discarded box.
Morgan's gonna run to the person who's lying on the yeah, and while trying to keep an eye out, like if there's a monster around or if the thing is still there, they kind of want to not be attacked too and finish like this corpse. So yeah,
Morgan takes a look at the body that was there when they arrived. Thankfully, the middle-aged woman was breathing, even if she was unconscious.
Honestly, does it look like the contents of the box are gone?
As Delilah looks around the room, taking a peek in the box, she realizes she cannot tell what is potentially missing.
So it's not just like the box is just torn apart and there's stuff lying around it.
The house is too thoroughly ransacked, as if a tornado has gone through the front of the house.
Are there any interesting smells?
Cece closes their eyes as they tap into their sense of smell, only to be struck on the back of their head, rendering them unconscious. With the others focused on the ransacked room and body, no one was able to help.
Oh,
It's
shit.
a very bad day.
As Delilah and Isolde observe the ransacked room, Isolde leans into her ghostly experience.
Yeah, she kind of whirls around with the pocket knife outstretched at hearing the sound, and then kind of tilts her head again.
Which has left her spiritually touched. Because of this, she is able to tell that they are dealing with a poltergeist.
And just goes, oh no. And I was wondering, she's going to try and tune in to see essentially what this thing's after.
As Isolde focuses in on the poltergeist, she gets flashes of desire for the truth, combined with flashes of the Titanic, especially during the panic of the crash. As she focuses in a little bit more, she starts to realize the poltergeist is repeatedly showing images of journals aboard the Titanic.
On the ship. Okay, so after kind of letting that sink in, she looks around again. Perhaps we can get you your journal. But don't do that again.
Thank you for listening to Once Upon a Monster of the Week. Reddington's monsters are controlled by Meg Griffin. Episodes are edited by Alex Lavelle and produced by Robert Chauncey. A special thanks to Red Griffin for taking my horrific ideas and making them even more terrifying. Thank you also to Michael Sands and Evil Hat for the Monster of the Week gaming system used in this podcast. We will be back in 2 weeks with a new group to follow. Until then, you can find the links in our show notes leading to both the podcast and actors' social media accounts. Please also check out our Patreon. Even for $1, you can get some pretty exciting things, like donating your name to our town roster. Or you can check out our tourist shop for some cool Reddington merch. We do know that money is tight, so if you are enjoying the show, we would appreciate it if you could leave us a rating or review wherever you listen to podcasts. Once Upon a Monster of the Week is part of Haunted Griffin Entertainment. Please check out our website for more of our shows. Today's episode starred
Emily C.A. Snyder playing Cece Stratos.
Alice Hart as Delilah Fleece.
Lauren Tucker as Isolde Finnegan.
Cam Clark as Morgan Lapointe Evans.